My name is Cllr Graeme Alexander, and I represent Borehamwood Brookmeadow alongside Councillor Brisky and Councillor Rebecca Chalice. I am an independent councillor, part of the three-strong Hertsmere First Group. We are not WIT, we are not accountable to Westminster, we don't take donations from property developers or from hedge funds, and we... I'll just sit down now while I'm winning. And we are here for one reason only, to put residents before politics. And that's the spirit in which I'm speaking tonight, and I'm going to say it as it is. At the extraordinary full council on 15th of April, I voted against sending this version of the local plan out to consultation. Not because I oppose having a local plan, of course we absolutely need one, but because this version in front of us is simply not in a good enough state to go out to our residents. When councillors arrived at the meeting, we found an eight-page corrections document placed on our desks. It included fundamental amendments to planning status and addresses of key sites. For example, contrary to what was stated, there is no planning permission for Well End. In my view, a document of this scale and importance should not still be undergoing that level of correction at the moment councillors are being asked to vote on it. That alone tells you the plan needed more work. And that's before we even get into the Greenbelt sites, which in my view should not even be on the table for discussion. Now, let's talk about infrastructure. A lot of that has been said this evening. Borehamwood is already under enormous strain. Residents feel this every single day. People cannot get GP appointments. Residents all over the town are being sent all the way across to Rogan Hall, which is neither accessible for vulnerable or disabled people. We still have no blood clinic in Borehamwood. Elderly residents are expected to get to Watford on the bus. We were promised a new GP surgery in Borehamwood South. The Surge campaign, led courageously by Leslie Berry, fought tirelessly for it. The former Director's Arms site, owned by the council, was earmarked for exactly that purpose. Instead, it was sold to developers who will now do whatever they choose with it. Our roads are full of potholes, the A1, A41, Allen Lane, all the way along the High Street, gridlocked at school run and rush hour. Schools are overstretched. Buses are infrequent and don't take people where they need to go. Trains are increasingly overcrowded at peak times, and there's still no bike lane through the town centre or the High Street. And yet, none of this infrastructure deficit is acknowledged, let alone addressed, in the local plan. If the town is already struggling to cope, how can anyone seriously propose adding 6,000 more homes here? Now, when this council term began in 2023, Hertsmere had over £20 billion in SIL money. That's money raised from developers to fund infrastructure. Much of it has now been spent. But can anyone honestly say Borehamwood has seen even a dent in its infrastructure deficit? At the same time, millions of pounds have been spent on expensive consultants, including hundreds of thousands of pounds to produce glossy regeneration blueprints. One massive project came back with a development cost close to £1 billion and a viability gap of 80 million. Yeah. It has now been quietly dropped, and what we have now is Regeneration Plan 1.1, costing another £200,000 in consultant fees, proposing, amongst other things, a 12-storey tower on the Shenley Road roundabout. And I have no doubt there'll be more money to consultants before a Regeneration Plan 1.2 emerges, and who knows what that will contain. And at the heart of the problem is that this is a developer-led plan. The document repeatedly talks about optimising site capacity, which we all know means maximising developer yield. It relies almost entirely on private landowners to bring forward complex sites. Thank you. We see no guiding hand of the council or vision to ensure that the right development happens in the right places with the right infrastructure alongside it. There's no commitment to council-built, genuinely affordable homes. Everything is left to developers. And can we trust the developers to give us what we need? This is not the people-led plan that we were promised. And I now come to the key part, the Greenbelt. We've heard the various Borehamwood area Greenbelts placed on the table. Won't go through all those now in the short time available, but I will say these are not scraps of land. They are beloved public goods, used by families, dog walkers, cyclists, children and older residents alike. They are homes to diverse wildlife and ecosystems. Once they are gone forever. These sites should not even be on the table for discussion. No resident is ever going to say, yes, let's build on these. So why do we put this to them in the consultation? So in summary, this plan asks for the largest portion of development to be borne by the town with the least capacity to absorb it. It ignores the infrastructure crisis we are already living with, and it hands too much power to developers and too little to the residents, eroding huge swathes of precious Greenbelt land in the process. I will continue to fight for a fair local plan that delivers to our residents what they and their families need and deserve. Thank you.
Thank you very much.